everybody. Welcome to Chapter 6 of The One Ring. This is our Second Age campaign entitled Of the Rings of Power and the Ruin of Numenor. With us tonight, as always, is Targon, played by Wanderer, Baranor, played by Zypher, and last but not least, Hallis, aka the man in the middle, trying to make peace between your two brothers, and Hallis is played by Sim. And we will go ahead and get started on our adventure tonight, eh? Let's see here. Should be kind of dark since it's night still. And Chapter 6, Introduction. Here we go. We're out in the ocean here. I regret to report, my prince, that there are no survivors. The bay is calm, and we've spared no effort in locating the crew of the Western Star, but alas, our search has been in vain. A young seaman kneels before Aldarion. A cool night breeze is blowing upon Belfalas. The prince bids the seaman rise. His eyes are stern. "Of course," he says, "you are a good man, Quill, and I have no doubt if there were souls to be saved, then you would have dragged them from the very depths yourself. But the sea is oft as harsh as it is beautiful, mysterious and unforgiving. I suspect the beast gave no quarter to any of our brethren cast into the waves. We can only now continue our journey and pray their ends were quick, their bodies embraced by the deep and not devoured by this fell creature. But I do not trust in vanity, and I do not lose hope." The prince's face now holds the shadow of a smile. "And the sea is not always right. It is full of surprises. Like Captain Targon of the Star," he continues, "we will sail in the morning and complete our journey, but despair has not yet won. I sense the tale of the ill-fated journey of the Western Star is just beginning." And so it was that Aldarion, Prince of Numenor and heir to Tar Mineldur, left Belfalas and continued south and east along the coast of Middle-earth. Some masters of lore loathed the prince's decision, admonishing him for leaving potential survivors behind. But others are more reasonable. Tragedies at sea are not uncommon, and Aldarion was a man of great foresight. If he suspected there were survivors, he would expect a signal beacon, yet there were none. And so the journey continued. But back to our brothers and their companion, Hallis. Now they journey in the early morning, when the moon is setting in the starry sky, and the night animals grow quiet, soon to give way to the birds and beasts of the day. They journey away from firelight and into shadow, low mountains and pine trees on either side, traveling ever upwards and to the north and to the east. Then Alatar speaks. "Upon a time we will come to Tol Druadan. Do you men feel anything in this place? The land of Gith may be bright and white and shining, but these mountains are ancient. Men of old dwelt here, most of whom bent the knee to a dark lord who shall not be named, but that ruled the wild places of Middle-earth in the first age of this world. Not so with the ancestors of Bukagan, but it is the case with most men." And so as the scene opens, the night has deepened, and soon it will likely be dawn, and you have set off, leaving your camp behind, leaving the warm firelight of comfort, and have gone up into the low mountains to the north and to the east of the coastline. As you go up into the mountains, you see what look to be towers kind of dotting the mountains that look like jagged teeth, broken, worn down. Even in the gloom, you can see them covered with moss and lichens. And you even see old monuments to a bygone era kind of dotting the landscape. Even in the Second Age of Middle-earth, there's thousands and thousands of years of dark history of the eastern part of this world that was under the sway of Morgoth for so long. Some parts are oppressive of this journey, and some parts, as you crest certain vistas, are certainly uplifting as you see the white mountains spread before you. And I'll let you take it away.
As we crest one of the rises, Targon looks across and sees the beauty of nature arrayed before him. But his face is hard, and he turns to Baranor, as Baranor also crests the rise, and says to him in a low voice, "This land lulls you with its beauty, does it not? So easy to believe that there is purity and goodness here, when all is tainted by the shadow."
As Targon says that, one can see Targon sees the same land now through different eyes. Baranor is bringing the rear of the company, and he actually has a different visage on his face. His eyes are wide, almost wondrous, looking at the landscape before him. Through the darkest valleys as they walk, and to the highest hilltops as they make their way towards whatever enemies lie in these mountains, Baranor but can't be attracted, strongly pulled to this land. He is at once at war within himself. In his mind, he conjures up image after image of Numenor, but his eyes, all they see is the beauty of Middle-earth. He looks up into Targon's face and he says, "Yes, brother. Beauty and blight, all in one place at one time." And as he's saying that, Targon, you can clearly see from the tone of his voice that it's not with the same intent that you have. What is this place? What is this place? And the second time when he says it, Alatar would have definitely heard it.
Alatar kind of stops up the trail, and as he speaks, the very first hints of light kind of shine over the mountains in the east as the sun crests. You can't see the sun visible, but the tendrils of pink and blue light kind of paint the mountains in comforting tones. He kind of turns to Baranor. "You? Baranor of the Land of Gift? You do not remember this land? Your mind has been gifted with knowledge beyond most men, even the wise of Westerness. I am surprised you not know the deep tales of these mountains and these streams and these dales. You do not know how the ancestors of Bukagan resisted the shadow of the one we will not name, while the race of men bent the knee, bending like a reed in a storm against the Dark Lord's will." Bukagan comes up to Alatar. "Bukagan and his people have been here many long ages, man of the West."
Tell me, Bukagan, did your people resist the one we shall not name, or the great enemy? Or did they merely hide from him? My ancestors fought him.
We resisted. Bukagan resisted recently, and his ancestors, his grandfather's grandfather's grandfather, painted these mountains with the dark blood of the beasts that crawl from the soil. At least the legends would have it. Come hither. Further up in the mountains we must roam. I will show you the Pukul men. Great statues and monuments left by my people. Yes, you will like the Pukul men. And he kind of looks at you. And you may be afraid.
Targon was starting to view Bukagan with something approaching a sort of look of almost cautious respect for a minute, kind of like, oh, maybe I've misjudged you. You know, I just took a snap judgment based on your appearance and your manner of speech, and then he kind of makes that comment, and all the pride and sense of superiority comes flooding back, and Targon says, "It will take more than a statue to take my courage. Though, I must confess, there is a darkness in these lands which can do it." And he looks uncomfortable and glances across at Baranor.
We have misjudged you indeed, Bukagan. But you are the first of your kind that we have met. Our travels through these lands of Middle-earth, just like this land, has taken us through dark valleys and sunny hilltops. It is hard to know which is which till one has passed these and he looks back at the journey that brought us where we are right now. And I think it is, if we take it as a gift, to be able to look back, know what was a mistake and what was a triumph. Targon and I write our history as we walk right now. We do not know if generations from now we will be remembered, if we will be honored in tales and songs. But like all people in all journeys, mistakes will be made, and maybe through those mistakes we will all learn something.
And Targon actually, Baranor may not notice for a second, but Targon seems to be a little bit stung by that, because these were his dreams, and he doesn't see any hope in them anymore. His mood is dark, and the misfortunes that have plagued them on their way, he sees them as, well, they are cursed, and he feels that weighing on him, and he actually speaks to Baranor in a way that he never does, and he kind of like snaps at him. "You speak like a child, brother. These dreams of our youth, these are not dreams for men. We have our eyes open now. You have seen this land. We merely have our duty ahead of us." And then you can see from his expression, he kind of catches himself and thinks, "Oh, that's a bit much. Shouldn't have said that." And then considers
Baranor
apologizing and doubles down and hardens his face instead.
Yeah, Baranor, you can see from his physical reaction, it's as if he has been slapped across his face, and he visibly shakes. And he says, "As you wish, brother."
What's Hallis doing upon this journey?
Hallis has been being quiet and listening. He's been sensing some changes in the brothers, and definitely being wary of Bukagan, just from the recent given the recent history with them. So he's not been saying much at all. He's been soaking it in and planning his words carefully.
As you look up and see another low rise of mountains on either side of you, you see these short, squat, very weathered statues with mouths agape and hollow, haunting eyes. And Bukagan kind of continues forward and looks up at them. See here, the Puko men. These sights are great victories for my people, where we slayed many of the Dark Lord's host. Some may even say that a magic and power of the earth and the wind and the trees and of these forests dwells within them. If you don't look out, you may be snatched up. And I want not Hallis, but both Targon and Baranor to both make ill-favored awareness rolls. Ill-favored.
Ill-favored.
I'm going to narrate what happened, and since you got a great success, you can even save him from what happens. But you look up at Bukagan, you listen to him, you look from side to side at the statues, and as you trundle along, it's almost as if, Targon, that at one moment nothing is there, and the next moment you stumble, and you found yourself almost cupped in one of these statues, and its hand is outstretched, and its hand is almost around your waist, and it's not moving. It's still a dead piece of stone, but you looked away. Now it seems to have its grip on you. Actually, make a valor test for me.
Okay.
Shadow point. You are gripped in this thing. Baranor, you seem to avoid it, and deftly so. And you can't even see, you saw this thing move. Through the rest of the company, could not see anything at all, but it seemed to move. And Targon, as you kind of struggle, like in the grip of this statue that didn't seem to move, but somehow has you in its grip, and you look into its mind, you kind of feel this sense of dread and guilt of having being judged for some reason and being left wanting, for a better term, like your soul has been judged and this thing felt you unworthy to pass.
Wow.
Oh, the Woses kind of jumps back. Oh, Baranor, what do you do?
It's Baranor.
Baranor sees that. He sees in his mind, and like a shadow in front of his eyes, the rock move and make for the both of them. Baranor deftly moves out of the way as if it's child's play, and he could have easily also pulled his brother along. Within him, he feels he has outstretched his right arm to pull him. But he has not really, because the wolf pendant throbs at his chest, holding him back. And the next thing he finds himself is standing next, a little closer to Bokugan, on the right side of the statue, looking up very quizzically at it and then at his brother.
Targon yells, "Dark sorcery!" and struggles to draw his weapon. "A shadow has tainted these things. Stay back! Stay back!" He's refusing to acknowledge this feeling within him, even though there is a kind of sickening feeling within him and a guilt, and it just all hardens into anger. That plus the fear, he's getting very angry very fast. So yeah, he's flailing and trying to draw his sword.
Bakugan kind of jumps back. Oh! The tales! The myths! The legends! Ah! Wizard! They are true! They are true! I have never seen such a thing! He kind of falls to his knees and looks up at the statue. Release him! Release him! His heart is not dark! He kind of looks over towards Targon, and then kind of his voice falters. Means well, means no harm. Alatar kind of steps towards Targon and holds up his right arm, stop struggling. It's easy, you can free yourself from this grip. It's not squeezing you. Oh, as I said, this place is ancient, and the tales are true, Bakugan. In ages past, great battles, sadness filled these mountains, and the hills ran dark with the black blood of the twisted creations of the enemy. Indeed, even the tunnels below that you now dwell in, and your people call their home, are filled with treasures of the First Age, though you Wood Woses have little use for such things, and I count that a blessing. It is perhaps good you have left such things undisturbed. And he stands in front of the statue, kind of stroking his beard, kind of waiting for Targon, Baranor, and Hallis to react. Myself has never seen these statues move, but I'm one to believe tales when they are passed down over long ages. I've never ceased to be amazed at what magic can seek from the crevices of this Middle Earth.
Targon will try and pull himself free of the hand, and he rounds on Alatar with a scowl and says, "We have seen with our own eyes what evil lurks in this land. The shadow lies waiting to snare the minds, hearts, and, glancing at the statue, the bodies of the unwary. This place." And he just stalks off, carries on along the path, but he's kind of like walking off in a huff. Assuming he does get free, that is.
Yeah, you're able to free yourself. Alatar and Bakugan just look at each other.
Yeah. Haas kind of peeks up at the staring at the statues. They're quite interesting at the very least. And he looks over at Baranor and watches Targon walk on down the path. But I don't know what to think of it being magical, and the shadow, of course, does follow men.
As you come back down off of that ridge, you kind of rejoin the path again, where the old ancient kind of monuments lay shattered along the path.
And
Alatar, Bukagan are
as they're
silent. Go ahead. Yeah.
coming down the path, Baranor starts to sing this tune and hum it with these words. To Hallis, it would seem he's singing it like no different, like they all remember when they were back in Numenor. But as Baranor sings it, the wolf pendant kind of hums against his body. And for Targon, these words, instead of being encouraging, would almost seem like they're dripping with sarcasm. Courage, brother, do not stumble, though thy path be dark as night. There is still a star to guide the humble. Trust in it and do the right. Let the road be long and dreary, and most of its end be far out of our sight. Foot it bravely, strong or weary. Trust in the light and do the right.
So yeah, if that comes across as mocking to Targon, then he's almost out of earshot when he kind of turns, and now he just looks furious and says, "So now you mock me, brother? Here, join your friend." And he points at Bokugan. "Perhaps you can wander the hills together and mock Targon. I have little patience for these words anymore." And he sort of turns on his heels and storms off. He looks absolutely furious.
Baranor just looks at Hallis, very confused.
Something has been eating at him lately. But those words were not marking. There was song. Is your brother okay?
I do not know, Hallis. I do not know. I feel like there is a wall between us, and I do not know when it came up.
I think the journey is growing on each of you. We can do with some rest eventually. Perhaps that'll bringing everybody back around. For it has been a long, arduous one, filled with peril and loss. We could use some joy. We could use some brotherhood.
Well, Hallis, be our witness, is all I ask. For I do not trust my eyes and ears anymore when it comes to Targon. I cannot say anymore if he sees me as the same person he saw me when we left our homeland. Be our witness. So one day when others know of this tale, they would know the real truth and not just what I saw or Targon said or what Targon saw and I said. Be our witness.
Well, I'm your witness, alright. Besides from the forest and Bakadgon and Alatar, you're all there is to see. But, as I say, journeys grow on people sometimes. You're no stranger to this. I fear not to say it, that the shadow has had hold of anybody. But I shall watch you both. When the journey is over, we'll be back to normal. Once we catch up, have our fill of adventure, get some brandy, all should be well.
With that, Targon nods and waits for everybody to pass him as he brings the rear of the company. The wolf pendant with its chain along his neck feels just a little heavier today. And as he's bringing the rear of the company down the hilltop, he looks around, and for some reason he cannot say why, he knows that he cannot keep that promise with Alice. For some reason he does not know why this Middle Earth will be his tomb.
And as you look down, Baranor, you round a bend and you see those ahead of you kind of go up the trail. A flock of white birds burst into the air, and you see a mountain stream start to kind of trickle down ahead of you up the bend that you couldn't see before. And all of you hear it, though you know not where it's coming from. You hear the gentle sound of a harp playing. At the same time, it's both peaceful. It's both peaceful and sad. And I want all of you guys to do a wisdom test. She failed.
The pendant doesn't give any bonuses for this kind of a check, right? It's only for lore.
No. Yeah, for lore. I am going to want you to do a lore as well, actually.
Oh, wow.
So if you fail, nobody gains a hope point. Well, but roll lore as well, Baranor, for me.
Hope has forsaken these lands.
Okay, among all of you, and most likely Alatar, only you can understand the words of the voice you hear raised in song. It's a male voice, both sad and peaceful at the same time. But as you kind of look up into the canyon walls, you see nobody around. For all you know, this singer, for lack of a better word, could be far away, and the song is just magically echoing through the mountains. You hear this hymn being sung: Snow white, O Lady clear, O Queen beyond the western seas. O light to us that wander here amid the world of woven trees. Gilthoniel, O Elbereth, clear are thy eyes and bright thy breath. Snow white, we sing to thee in a land far beyond the sea. O stars that in that sunless year, with shining hand, by her were sown, in windy fields now bright and clear, we see you silver blossom blown. O Elbereth Gilthoniel, we still remember, we who dwell in this far land beneath the trees, thy starlight on the western seas. And you hear this song continue, and eventually it gets fainter and fainter and disappears. At that point, Bukagan and Alatar both kind of stop ahead and look back toward Hallis, or look back towards Baranor. Baranor of House Nimrozir, come hither. Lift up thy gaze and thy heart. Do you not hear the song in these mountains? There are many mysteries ahead. And he kind of looks like maybe he expects to see someone or something up in the cliffs. And as they say, not all who wander are lost. The firstborn, he kind of chuckles to himself. Come hither. The day wears on, and if your hearts are not lifted, mine indeed is. Just when my spirit seems to falter in this dark land, the gift of song. Buoys my soul again up to thy heavens. Bugagan, at my left hand, we will make good time, even if these men cannot catch up. Ha ha!
Yes, yes, Alatar. And with that, Baranor picks up his pace and starts moving down the hilltop hastily. Come, Hallis. Come, Targon, my brother. Let us not be shown unworthy of this old man and this man of the hills. Come, come.
Yes. Do not dawdle. He looks over at Targon. An adventure. Hopefully you're feeling like a little better now.
Targon doesn't say anything, but he looks a little rueful. But you also notice he keeps just watching Baranor. And his face goes very blank when he does it. It's not as in slack jawed or anything, but as in his expression goes very, very neutral. Like he's very deep in thought and not trying hard not to reveal what he's thinking. But then he turns back to Hallison with a forced smile and says, "Indeed, adventure awaits."
That's the spirit. What is the in between adventures? That the heart grows sad, the shadow falls. There's no purpose when you travel, but as we approach our end point, purpose grows.
What narrative reason or what internal monologue is going on where you could be accompanied on your journey, at least for a time, by this mesmerizing, surreal song, and yet your spirit is not even lifted like Alatar and Bugagan seems to be?
For Targon, he's barely aware of it. As soon as he hears there's something sounding like a voice on the breeze, it reminds him of that spirit, and he just kind of shuts it out. He's kind of like, no, I'm not listening to, I'm not listening to fell voices on the wind again. He's so busy shutting it out, he doesn't take the moment it would take to realize it's nothing like that. But also, he's really looking at Baranor. He's for some time now he's been missing signs that something's changing in his brother, and now it's just hit him all at once, and he's suddenly thinking, what am I missing? What's going on? Is he okay? Has this land got to him? Is the curse upon him? Sarcasm isn't like him. Hallis seems to be missing it, but I've known him longer. I can tell something's different, and he is worried. But he's not kind of emotionally strong enough to admit to that fear. Not for something like this. The supernatural or something, sure, but not this. So instead, he is masking his concern behind just a kind of what he hopes is an outward demeanor, but it probably just looks like he's holding in Tetchy.
For Targon, it's actually the opposite, right? So he hears the song and he's not quite sure what he's hearing. He's still in this mood of doom and gloom. And then he hears Alatar's voice confirming the song. And Baranor's reaction is actually, again, it's now becoming more and more clear that Targon is at the exact opposite of what Targon is seeing. He immediately straightens his shoulder, goes to his full height, and starts bounding down the hill towards Hallis Targon, and past them when he says, "Let us not keep the old man and the man of the hills waiting and think ill of us." And in Baranor's mind, he can't. It's like the land. For a moment, he was in the depths of the shadows of his own mind, and then suddenly, like a ray of light out of nowhere, kind of parts the darkness in his mind and just shines his mind with light that he has not felt before, and he kind of goes bounding down the hill, immediately falling more and more in love with Middle Earth. And on top of that, it's Hallis's words as well. Like, he also realizes, yeah, absolutely, they have not had an adventure for a long time, and every time they're not having an adventure is when bad things happen to them. And it's Hallis's words that kind of singe into his mind that we must always be on an adventure, and if we are not, then that's when the shadow of dark thoughts start coming into the mind. And he makes an oath to be always on an adventure, never stopping. And that's it.
Over the next few hours, as the sun traverses the sky from the east to the west, and the shadows start to grow long, although not too long, you go higher and higher up into the mountains, turning ever more to the east and to the north. Now you follow a path. Now you scramble down some rocks. At one point, Alatar is behind you. At the next point, he's ahead, somehow. Come hither! Just over this rise. Oh, yes, indeed. Indeed. And he says, there it is. The top of Troll Druedain. And you kind of crest a cliff, and you kind of look down, and you see a switchback of stairs kind of descending down, and you see what looks to be a broken tower nestled in a dale between two low mountains. And as rays of the late afternoon start to fail, the five of you kind of wind your way down these steps. They are kind of covered with vibrant green and moist moss that kind of pads your footsteps as you head down. And as you get towards the tower, you see that's like broken and burned, probably in ages past. And let's see here. Yeah, now we descend into the history of Middle Earth. These tunnels, as I said before, they are queer of sort. They hold many treasures and secrets. But I will not fear. 3 men of Westerness are at my back, and Bukagon of the White Forest. Old Alatar has nothing to fear. What, with the valiant men of the Land of Gift at my side, what can go wrong? The servants of the enemy, however, they have everything to fear. Surely, upon hearing our coming, they will cower in the light of the Valar. No? And he kind of says, is that proud enough for you, Targon? As he kind of takes a switchback of steps down towards us, like at the base of this tower, down to a tunnel.
And yeah, with his words, Targon was trying to keep his expression neutral, but he was seesawing between thinking, oh, he's being sincere. Oh, he's taking the mickey. Oh, no, he's being sincere. No, he's taking the mickey. And then with that last thing of, is that proud enough for you, Targon? He's like, he was taking the mickey. Right, fine. So Targon just doesn't respond. He, actually, no, he will. He'll just say, it is in my deeds, not my words, that you may judge me, old man. If you find my deeds wanting, then you may mock me all you wish, and it will be deserved. I come here to slay any orcs we find within. That is my vow.
He smiles. Well then, slay we shall. After you, Targon.
Targon unlimbers his shield and draws his sword with something almost approaching relief. You know, this is something he understands. This is an enemy, you know, assuming it's real, and he's really hoping it is, then this is an enemy he can face. This is the way he can strike back against the shadow that's not just, as far as he's concerned, on this land, but has been on his heart for so long now. And he's hoping to find redemption of a sort in facing it head on. So with determination, but also a little hope, he starts to step forward towards the entrance, and then as he glances back to his companions, his glance rests on Baranor for a moment, and the hope goes out of his eyes, and he again looks grim. But then, with a sense of determination, he presses on.
As the five of you kind of take this staircase down below the tower, the light immediately starts to fade. All is cast in a hue, the color of old, damp moss as you kind of descend into this tunnel. As you do so, you are immediately stricken by the age of this place, most likely. The monuments on the wall are crumbling, and here and there are like bone fragments, both of men and of other beasts, though you know not what. Alatar kind of says to himself, "Oh, a day ago, I did not have the spine to descend thus far on mine own, without the star of Numenor at my back. But now," and he kind of taps his staff on the floor, and the head of it starts to glow, and the entire place is bathed in a dusty light. You see motes of dust kind of swirling in the air as Alatar kind of looks around, and he picks up what looks to be an old helm that's rusted and then tosses it on the ground. This place is older than I expected. It is odd that the enemy should spread his dark tendrils into such a place first. Mysteries upon mysteries.
What enemy do you speak of, old man? Great enemy is long since defeated.
He kind of casts a sidelong glance and doesn't answer, but instead holds his staff kind of lower to the ground, kind of scanning the ground. And I want all three of you to give me a scan check.
Oh, scanning we will go.
Scanning we will go. So tell me what it looks like as the three of you don't see much except except for Baranor. Okay. So Hallis and Targon just kind of you find some rusted out armor and bones and stuff, but nothing of value or of interest necessarily. In fact, it's cobwebs for the most part. Give me a little role play as you're kind of scouring the chamber.
This place looks like it hasn't seen any activity in eons. And he kind of kicks over some old rusted metal, some rocks. I thought you said there was oak here.
I did. I spied them one evening ago. But such creatures are creatures that thrive in the gloom. They shy away from the sunlight. Craven beasts they are. And always on the move. Tunnelers, dwellers, sneakers.
Yes. But they are not as crafty as to be able to hide their movements. It looks like no one passed in here for a while. Bend over and pick up another rusted piece of armor. What do you think, Targon? Is this a wild goose chase?
I agree, my friend. This is... No doubt if any creature lives here, this pile of old metal has been picked over by now. And he kind of just moves a couple of things with his feet, but he's plainly just not interested. He's fixed ahead. He's looking kind of driven.
Nor, as you scan the area, you perhaps go a little bit further outside the concentric circles of ring of light that Alatar casts, and you nearly trip over it, Baranor. You almost stumble to the ground, and then you come face to face with 3 or 4 bodies. You guys might not have ever seen orcs, but you've heard of them in tales, in the great towers and the libraries of Numenor, of the orcs, of the twisted beings created by Morgoth, perhaps from the elves, perhaps some other dark arts. But you trip and fall across 3 or 4 bodies of orcs. 2 of them are missing their heads, and one is hewn from the left shoulder all the way to the right hip, lifeless, dead. Their blood already cold spread out before them in a black pool of ichor. One of them seems like it's fallen over something, like a lump.
Ah! What devilry is this? And he kind of gets up, shaken. Baranor the Swift doesn't fall often, and when he does, it is very disturbing to him. He kind of gets to his knee and he pushes the orc body that's hunched over this thing underneath to reveal it.
As you look down at it, it's like surrounded by blood, and so the back cover of this thing is kind of stuck to the ground with congealed blood, but it looks to be a leather-bound tome of sorts, and on the front of it are strange insignias. That's lore. Give me lore.
We go. I also have something called shadow lore.
Oh, you can evoke shadow lore automatically, but I mean, this is a great success. It's actually a magical success since you have the pendant, but it's there's a design like an insignia logo, a wolf's head, in fact, surrounded by wreaths of flame, and in the black speech, it says, "A song of shadow."
Targon and Hallis, where they stand, Baranor would have his back towards them, and he throws the orc body aside. In his right hand is his sword ready. He kind of puts his hand down, and with his left hand, which is kind of free, he picks up this book, holds it close to his chest, and passes it surreptitiously into his cloak to be read later.
Can we see that, or is he hidden? That's true for us.
To you guys.
Yeah, if you want, I can roll and they can do a contest to see if they see it.
Yeah, I'd be interested. I don't want to just say I see it. I'd be interested to see if I do. Because
So that would be. What do you think would be a good tricksy roll to make?
Stealth?
Yeah. Is there stealth? Yeah, stealth is good.
I'll just do what, scan or awareness?
That would be awareness. Scan is like you're actively like looking for an area. Awareness is like, oh, I see something
Okay.
out of the corner of my eye.
Whoa.
Nothing gets past this guy. Except for Baranor.
Yeah, great success.
Even the sharp eyes of Hallis.
I would say great success at a 17 beats a great success at 11. So what does that look like, guys?
So Hallis standing there, kind of looking around, catches Baranor out of his side of his eye and looks over and even he can't find nothing except for bodies. Did he see? Because we see the bodies, right?
Yeah. You would
Yeah,
see
no,
that.
actually, yeah, Baranor, let's do this now since you got great success. Yeah, you don't see it, but you see something gleaming, like in the darkness, like something shiny, kind of over near the bodies, like maybe underneath one of the other orcs, like a hint of something metallic sticking out from underneath them.
You mean Baronor or Hallis?
A Hallis, yeah, Hallis. I'm sorry.
Oh, Hallis sees something.
Yeah, because you got a great success, so you noticed something. You just didn't notice him squirreling away this book of the dark arts.
So Hallis looks out, and then as he says that about the bodies, he sees almost like a reflection. What have you found, Baranor? And he'll go walking over.
Nothing. I have not found anything. What are you talking about, Hallis? Only these bodies.
Thought I'd seen some light reflecting, some gleaming, almost like a reflection. And he'll go over by the orbs.
I think squirreling away that book deserves a shadow point.
Oh, yeah, sure. No problem at all.
Give thyself a shadow point.
Kicks over an orc body and maybe thy eyes play tricks on me. But you didn't see that. They almost looked like you were looking right at it. Perhaps it was a reflection.
Yeah, as you kick over the body, you see what looks to be a ornate and finely crafted sword scabbard.
Well, maybe this
no sword in it, just a scabbard.
Just scared. Pick it up and look at it. Perhaps it was this. I don't only call it the code of my eye. You didn't see this, Baranor.
No, I did not see that. I was just startled by these bodies. They do seem like orc, but how can it be? Orc have not roamed these lands as per our scouts for eons.
Yes. Well, this is true. It is quite shocking that they are here. But what are they doing?
Targon strides over and starts examining the bodies. Their equipment, their gear. How tall are they? What does their reach look like? How muscular are they? Do they agile? He's already just sizing them up as opponents, and he seems excited.
It's hard. A lot of them are expertly missing their limbs and heads, so it's a little difficult. But Hallis, since you're holding the scabbard, give me a lore check to see if you can read what's on it. Otherwise, it's just going to be
treasure.
It's going to be Greek to you.
Good thing I speak Greek.
You are not very far off from, the elves. Actually, in this time, they still visit your shores from time to time, and the tongue of the elves is oft spoke by your people, and fragments are certainly picked up. So you pick up this scabbard. Let me show it to you guys. Epitaph of Alcalmaril. And you can read the text here. Upon this blade, lies the doom of Dorthonion and the memory of Terenion, who stood steadfast against the greatest lieutenant of Morgoth, the Lord of Wolves, Gorthar, Sauron the Shadow, and died in defense of Beleriand. May he not be forgotten. And from your lore check and your time spent, perhaps in between voyages in the libraries of Westerness, Dorthonion is one of the many elven realms of Beleriand that was sunk beneath the waves after the War of Wrath in the First Age. And you have also heard this name. Not only Morgoth, but Sauron, otherwise known as the Lord of Wolves in the Shadow. So whoever bore the blade that the scabbard belonged to must have perished in that fight in heroic fashion. This is a very unique find indeed, but where indeed is the blade?
Yeah, Alice is, after reading it, he kind of read it out loud so everybody knew what it said. And he'll attach it to his belt. Well, perhaps there's a sword that carved these orcs up. An elven sword. Do you see one laying around? He kind of goes over where they're at. But I think that solves the mystery of who sliced these orcs up. But the question now becomes, where did he go?
Alatar kind of looks around and, what do you have there? The Wood Woses find many treasures, and like I said, they have little use for them. I doubt not this thing has been left dormant for many long years. Yet I have a look-see.
Hollis would take it off and hand it to him. Yes. It's elvish, of course, but...
Indeed it is. Of the first age of this Middle-earth, I have not held such a thing in my old and gnarled hands in a long, long time. In that age past, there were battles fit for song, fit for great books and tomes. It seems that the blade that belongs in this scabbard once belonged to one such warrior. But alas, too many battles ended in defeat for the elves of Beleriand, and such blades were stolen. And perhaps, and he kind of looks around this chamber, stolen and stolen again. For orcs and men covet, and such a thing may pass out of memory and be found by an unlikely hero. Alas. Of those here, perhaps you were chosen to find this. Keep it with you and wear it well. And perhaps the mystery of its presence will be revealed in time. I doubt it not.
Perhaps yes. But I don't think this thing has been laying dormant for so long. If those and the orc bodies were they fresh-ish? Ish.
They're pretty cold, but ish, yeah.
Yeah. I do think that perhaps who this one belonged to is somewhere about still.
Targon's looking at the bodies and adds, whoever killed these is an expert swordsman. Or woman.
Yes.
The cuts are deadly and sure.
Baranor doing with his Necronomicon tucked under his cloak.
Yeah, nothing. He's just standing there looking at Hallis and the scabbard, and he's just standing there, kind of a little dumbfounded by what's going on about the First Age being discussed, and finding a scabbard all the way out here from the First Age, but doesn't say anything. as the scabbard is kind of lifted by Hallis and brought into what little light, Baranor definitely feels the pendant around his neck hum a little more and imperceptibly almost vibrate along his chest.
As that happened, you hear it echoing through the tunnels. You hear the sound of men and women screaming in terror, and you hear the sound of swords and other weapons being wielded, no doubt, coming from both sides of this hallway, both to the left and right. And Bukagan kind of perks up at that point. Enough! Enough we talk of Miss Alatar! I hear my kin! They are in danger! We must away! And Alatar kind of looks to you guys and looks to Bakugan. Come! Bakugan! With me! We shall go this way. Men of Westerness, you go the other. You'll no doubt meet. If you are as valiant as you say you are, then we will talk about this with the roaring fire as a backdrop. Soon enough. Bakugan, with me!
And Targon calls across them. I wish you good fortune. Bakugan, we will save your kin if we can. And he just strides straight into the tunnel, I guess, ahead of them. He's not being exactly reckless, but he's certainly not being cautious. He's walking fast. He's hustling with.
Baranor perks up, listens to what's being said, and then starts following Targon swiftly.
Yeah, Hallis does the same. Perhaps we can get there before they lose too many.
Targon nods. He's really focusing on the tunnel ahead. But on hearing those words, he actually kind of breaks into a trot. Kind of a slow jog almost. He doesn't want to run recklessly into danger, but he picks up the pace a bit further.
And you run down the hallway and you hear the sound of a sword searching, and you hear the sound of orcs screaming. As you, Targon and Hallis and Baranor, trot down the hallway to the left here, you come across ever more orcs, and unfortunately even some slain wood woses that look like they've been rent by spears and axes and fangs and teeth, unfortunately, until eventually you kind of emerge into this chamber towards the end. Let me here activate. As you emerge towards this chamber, at the end, you see kind of up these steps. You see like probably 12 or even 24 wood woses being ushered away, because these wood woses stand at about waist height to the figure you see that's cloaked in black and green with a glowing blade flashing in the darkness. Whoosh, whoosh, stabs an orc, and he kicks it off with the boot, like kicking it off these stairs, and then kind of darts away up these steps here, kind of leaving these orcs behind. And as you kind of run into the room, they kind of turn their attention towards you. Now, all three of you can do awareness to see what details you can notice about this figure that was ushering the Woses away, if you would like.
Great success.
Your awareness must be favored.
Yes, it is.
both Hallis and Baranor, you, Targon, maybe you don't see anything at all. But both Baranor and Hallis, you see this thing just with preternatural speed kind of leap up onto the stairwell and dispatch this orc. And you see the glowing blade as it flashes in the gloom. And you see tendrils of dark hair creeping out behind a cloak of dark green. And you see a brooch kind of jewelry at the throat of this cloak kind of flash in the gloom. You have only seen this live form one time recently in your travels in Middle-earth, and it was up the river Guathalo. This was certainly an elf, and a very skilled, masterful one at that. But unfortunately, you don't have much time to think, as the orcs kind of in this chamber, standing over a couple slain body of Woses, kind of turn to you. Oi! Looky here! We got more visitors. Rats in the tunnel, eh? And you know what we do with rats? We stomp on them. Yeah, we stomp on them, boss. And we eat some for dinner. And Torblat the Smasher, who's down in this pit, and starts to kind of walk towards you guys.
At least narrative Targon holds high his sword and yells, Are and Tuluva, they shall come again, and charges at them.
Yeah, Hollis is seeing the walking when he walks upon, seeing the elf and other orcs, and Targon's sudden bravery. Ah, yes. And he smiles and pulls a sword. For the journey, we should all meet our fates, and runs in the mix.
Alice runs into the mix the last. As he does, the pendant is now almost vibrating, humming against his chest, almost drawing him into the fight, as if he's been yoked and being dragged in. For Middle-earth, back to the shadow from whence you came, orcs come.
And battle is thus joined. I'm going to say we're going to do away with... Actually, yeah, we'll do away with volleys this round. If you guys are just going to go right at them, unless you guys want to stand there and pull out your bows if you have them and fire one and let them come to you.
We're not going to stand and pull out anything, bro. Just
the day may come when men will stand in front of orcs and pull things out, but this is not that day.
This is not that day.
I'm just gonna match you guys up. All right, just gonna go top to bottom here. Hallis. Yep. All right. So somebody could narratively tell me what it looks like as you guys kind of clash with these guys, and these two archers are kind of starting to load their little short bows, and Torblat the Smasher is crawling his way out of the pit towards you. And why don't I let Hallis give me the flavor of this scene before we kick off the combat.
So yeah, as they charging in, Hollis notices that he sees the archers, knowing that they're there. Sees the enemy in front of him. The smell overtakes him as he gets closer. Any doubt that orcs were still around for whatever reason, or whatever these creatures were, has changed now, because the legendary foulness of the orcs has reached his nose. I hope you smell better in death than you do alive. And he runs in and sees Torblat the Smasher. I imagine he's quite big.
He's bigger than the other ones for sure.
Yeah. Save your strength. Get through these ones fast, lads. That big one's gonna need all of our attention. And he doesn't hesitate to get into to advance on the snargly looking one in front of him. Taking full advantage.
Skip the opening volley. Tell me what your stances are, and we'll kick it off.
Forward, of course.
Yeah.
Open.
I can change it for you if you'd like.
Yeah, wait, how do you change that?
Right-click on your token, and there's icons on the left. The top is forward. There's open, defensive, and rearward.
Thank you.
Yeah, open. Mine's open.
Okay. Halos, you're first. Who are you going to attack? You're paired up with Snargle.
Yeah, Snargle.
Oh, Snargle! Oh,
The snargly one.
come here.
Yeah, he doesn't even hesitate. He just goes in and swoops with his long sword.
Snuggle doesn't know who he's dealing with.
That's right.
How do I select him again?
Select them, left click, and then T to target.
T. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got four fellowship points, correct?
Yep, we got 4 fellowship points. You guys have not used them yet.
Oh, Lord. Should have used one.
2-hand longsword. What does it look like as you close the Snargle, but he missed him?
Yeah, as he closes in, he's faster than Hollis would have thought. Slippery. Must be all that slime on you.
Targon, you're up.
Okay, Targon with a gleam of excitement and it's an air of being driven, rushes in. Hold on, so I need to target Impug sword, and I'm going to use a hope point from the pool.
From the pool, okay.
Yep.
We have 3 left.
Okay. And okay. Oh, it says I should be miserable. It didn't. That's good.
No,
Get off
no.
my thing. So I'm going to put that back on.
Yeah, put it back on because when you click hope die, it pulls from your sheet.
Right. Yeah. Makes sense. So I hit him for 4 damage.
Apply damages. Okay, what's it look like?
Yeah. So Targon goes rushing in with his shield foremost and the sword behind it. And he just runs full into Grimpug, uses the shield to smash the orc shield out the way, and then strikes a blow that he hoped would behead him, but it kind of hits the helm and cuts deeply into the orc's shoulder.
Baranor. Hey!
Oof.
And I used 1 hope die from the pool, so now there is only 1 remaining.
That kills him, my friend. That kills him.
Yep. Oh, awesome. So Baranor sees Hallis swing his sword and nearly miss the orc on the top. Targon get a hit on Grimpug, and Baranor looks to Lurs. He's standing in between his friend and his brother on his either side, flanked. He sees a room full of orcs, and in his mind, all he remembers is stories he's heard as a kid, stories he's heard as a teenager, as a young adult in Numenor, of great battles past. And he smiles, and the smile almost as evilish. Your kind is not welcome here on this Middle Earth. You are a scourge, and I shall be the flame that extinguishes you. And with that, Baranor basically swiftly twirls around him, brings a sword up and across, beheading the orc instantly. And as he beheads it in a very brutal fashion, the pendant throbs even more on his chest.
Very good. Torblat, the Smasher. He's going to delay his turn just yet. Snargle is going to use one of his hate points to add an extra dice to his attack against Halas. See if I get this right. Whoa!
Ho 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 ho
I'm
ho.
going to do a heavy blow. 2 heavy blows. 11 damage, and I'm going to apply that to you. Boom. You get 11 endurance lost there. He did not cause a wound. You're down to... You're wary now.
Wary's the heart.
I want you to tell me what it looks like as Snargle bears down upon you. And his scimitar is born not by his own bravery, but by the fear of Torblat the Smasher at his back.
Yeah, Hollis is, when he deflected off, missed his swing, was off guard, and Snargle taking full advantage. Hollis sees the ferocity in his eyes of fear, perhaps some bravery, and just eats it. And it gets him right in the flank as he's off balance, and he causes him to back up, and as he touches his side, feeling what's there and what's damaged naturally.
Grimpug, enheartened by Snargle's advance and afraid of Torblat at his back, he remembers the cracking of the whip in the slave pits when he was a Snaga, but now he is a full-grown Uruk, and he presses down upon Targon. I will eat your flesh this night, men. And his scimitar flashes as well, and he will use a hate point down to 2 to add an extra dice to his attack. Scimitar. 1 extra die. Roll. Success. 3 damage, and I apply damages.
I think you just applied it to Hallis.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was still targeting him, wasn't I?
Let's go ahead and beat up on Hollis. Hollis magically drifts over.
I'm putting your endurance back to 14. Let me see. What was the roll? 20. That probably would have still beat your parry, though, Targon, right?
I expect so. Yeah, 18. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just going to apply the endurance loss to you. You should have 23 now, and your load is 22. You're not yet wary, actually.
Okay.
And so now I'm going to go back to Torblat the Smasher. He's going to use his fell ability for 1 hate to use Yell of Triumph. Spend 1 hate to restore 1 hate to all other orcs in the fight. And like in his left hand, there's a whip. Crack! Come on, you maggots! Do away with him! so we can pursue this elf into the mountains. You hear the cracking of the whip, and Snargle regains his hate.
Hylas identifies as an orc.
And the other dude regains his hate. I'm not targeting you there. Flea Bottom. Because you guys were involved in melee, their bow shots are going to be ill-favored. So let's see who they shoot at. Hallis.
Oh.
Bow of Horn. Misses?
Misses.
Was that actually your favourite? I only saw one peak die. I mean, it wouldn't have made a difference.
Right, I forgot to do it. And the next one is at Hallis too. Sour Gut.
Wow.
Man, they want to get rid of you. Sour Gut. Bow of Horn. Failure. So luckily, these two ill-aimed shots fly over your head, Hallis, but they seem to be coming after you for some reason. And we're back to the top. What stances are you going to do?
Pressing.
Still?
Still
Still forward?
Still forward. There is no retreat. Especially after having arrows was by his head. Hylas looks a little more.
Targon and Baranor, same?
Targon can do no less.
Baranor is open. Yes, same.
Alright, Hallis, you're up.
Hylas having arrows fly by his head after just taking a grievous wound. Looks even more determined now. His eyes narrow. His jokes are now gone. Behind him is just pure fury.
Are you going to use the hope?
Hell yeah, from the pool.
Alright, you have one left.
Oh, Lord.
Fuck.
How do you fail that?
Fucking eye.
Second round, Targon, you're up.
Yeah, Targon is yelling this elven battle cry again, and
Hallis, should you be wary and miserable?
My load's high, so yeah, weary.
okay.
Something.
So Targon.
You should.
That's not let me click on weary.
Yeah, you have to alt click it.
There we
I
go.
clicked on it. You shouldn't be miserable. You have one hope left, right?
Yeah, I got one hope left. It went down to 0, then I replenished it with the fate pool.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. I think I want to check something.
Wait, why do you have only one hope left? Didn't you replenish during the fellowship phase?
Yeah, I've been spending hope like Pez.
This is the way.
He has 0 shadow for some reason. He's resisted everything. Good thing.
Someone had to resist the shadow.
Someone had to resist the shadow, but with one hope now he's dancing on the edge.
At what cost?
At what cost?
Okay. Yeah, Targon's going to spend a hope. And going to attack Grimpook. So, yeah.
Are you using it from the pool?
No, there's none left in the pool, I don't think.
Yeah, there's one left.
Oh.
Because your fellowship phase, you remember you have 4 points instead of 3 because somebody did like in Heart and Allies or whatever it's called.
Oh, cool. Okay, cool.
So you want to use it from the pool?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. And
So make yourself not miserable then.
I got an extraordinary success. But for some
very good.
reason,
Did you target Grimpug?
I did. It said sword difficulty 15, target Grimpug. Oh,
Oh,
I
yeah,
wonder.
that's cool.
Did
You didn't pick the right sword.
I think I didn't. No, I did, but I think it's because it gave me options and I clicked through it. That was
It's going to kill him. I mean, it's going to kill him if you add all that into damage.
cool. Okay, yeah, I will.
Yeah. So I'll just.
Yeah. So once again, Targon knocks Grimpug's shield out of the way, and this time he just rams his sword straight through the orc's throat. And then he kind of kicks the orc off the end of his sword, and yells, "Death to the shadow!"
Nora, your turn, buddy.
All right, he's going to step up right beside Hallis and target Snargul.
Dolph.
Nice.
13 damage. That might kill him. Actually, let me see. Nope, not quite yet.
He needs to make a protection roll.
Yep. And here we go. No! Wounded, which in these guys means what? It means death.
And Baranor, as he steps up right beside Hallis, just beheading the orc next to Snargul, basically twirls around Hallis, does a, almost like a pirouette, and brings his sword right across Snargul's chest, cleaving him in half. And he screams, "Look upon me, orc scum! Your doom is here."
Torblack's turn. Torblack starts to kind of crawl up out of the pit, and then that will be his turn. Boom! Crawls up out of the pit. He's kind of in front of you, Baranor, as you kind of flank Snargul. You see two claws come out of the pit, and then he just pulls himself up with massive upper abdominal strength, and he unslings a... What does he have? What weapon does he have? Yeah, a huge, big spear from his back. It's his turn. Flea Bottom and Sour Gut, you're not in combat anymore, so they're going to fire at you guys. First one's going to be towards Targon. Flea Bottom. It's not favored, and they're going to spend a point of hate. Get an extra D.
It's all about the extra D.
Get the extra D.
Energy.
Oh no!
Oh shit.
Oof. With Boromir.
Boromir for sure.
7 damage, and I will apply damage. So the GM can apply damage and stuff, so you guys don't worry about that.
Oh, cool.
Yep. So you don't have to make a protection test, though, which is good. Now you probably should be wary, though, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Sour Gut. I'm on the toot my own horn. I got the best orc names. Sour Gut's going to use a hate point. Get an extra D.
Let loose the D.
See who he's firing at. This one's heading towards Baranor. Bow of Horn. Extra D.
Getting all that.
Fire. Oh! 5 damage. I will apply the damage. And you must make a protection test. Do you want me to do that for you? Click the button, or can you click that button there?
Oh, let me
Or is
try
it-
that. Yeah, I clicked it. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I can roll it.
Oh, bounces off your armor.
Yeah, let's do this. Right. So it actually the shot is true, and it's coming towards his chest where his heart is, and it kind of bounces off something metallic right underneath his tunic, or as if almost warded off.
Very nice.
And the glow
Right.
just becomes stronger, and the pendant is now just going crazy.
Round 3.
Alice.
Keep the pressing the attack here.
You got still
I'm gonna charge. I get a
Forward.
+5, right?
charge?
Yep.
No.
He's in full send mode.
Targon, you're going to be forward as well.
No, Targon now he's now had a rude awakening about the dangers of reckless. So he's gonna be a little bit more measured into taking care of these orcs. He had his initial rush of excitement that took him in to kill this first one, but now he's seen that actually there's this huge orc and a couple of guys with bows. So and he's seen that all 3 of them are now injured. I think, aren't they? Is Baranor injured?
Yeah, Baranor got a 5 damage, but the
Okay,
arrow
not
should
so
have
much.
done more damage, but it almost like kind of gets pushed to the side.
Sauron, protect thee.
Yeah, I protect.
What are you doing, Hallis?
So moving an attack. That's allowed. Yeah.
Yeah. The map's for just roleplay purposes, honestly.
Gotcha. I just want to make sure I'm able to
Yeah.
close and.
But you're wary. Both of you and Targon are wary. Know this.
Oh, I'm unleashing it all right now.
Okay.
My last bit of hope.
Well, are you going to attack? Because Torblatt's going to use his snake-like speed and burn a hate to make your attack ill-favored.
Gross. Yeah, he's gonna attack.
Now your hope pool is 0.
Worst. So that means I gotta click on the feat dice, right? Yes.
Yeah, click it and then the worst.
Yeah. Okay.
Failure.
God damn.
And you should be miserable. So Torblatt, for how huge he is, he just ducks right under your weapon. I'm going to gouge out your eyes and make them as a stock for soup. Baranor.
Baranor is going to target Torblatt, and he's going to attack.
Make it ill favor. He's burning another hate.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Well, that's a 1, so.
Do you want me to just roll a feat die?
Yeah, roll feet. The only way it can get worse is if you get an eye, which counts as 0.
1, 2, yeah.
Nope. So it's still a great success. So 13 damage with that bad boy?
Yeah, there was a choice to click heavy damage or something. And
Yeah, it's the only thing you can do. Yeah, hit select. Did you do it?
Yeah.
Yep. Apply damages. Oh man, that hurt him. Hurt him bad. He only has 7 left. What does it look like?
Yeah, and now it's as if Baranor is being pulled around like a puppet. he is moving with greater speed than ever before. He's almost filled with this hate that he cannot account for or explain. Like the hate is being poured into him, like he is now a vessel of hate. All he can think of is removing the scourge of this beautiful land. And he brings his sword again across the chest of that big orc in front of him in two quick successions, drawing an X, a large X across his shoulder. You shall bleed this night, and your kin shall see you fall. And within them, fear shall rise, and they'll never be here again. Be gone, foul creature.
Targon.
Okay. So Targon's initial recklessness has passed, as he felt this exhilaration, but now there's exhaustion and pain from the wound. It's brought him to himself a bit. So he now closes swiftly with Torblack, but doesn't charge in this time. He's measuring this opponent. Obviously, seems more formidable. And I'm going to attack, and I'm going to use targeting first. I'm going to attack, and I'm going to use, of course, a hug.
Make it ill-favored too.
Sorry. Just roll another feat die.
Yeah. He's probably still going to be fine, but 6, that'd still hit. That still hit.
Nice.
So still an extraordinary success. So apply the damage. Tell me what you get.
Okay, it was 16. So do I apply that? There.
And that kills him.
Okay, so Targon this time measures his weighs his moment and waits till Torbat is reeling rather from Baranor's blow, and then as that happens, he just darts in and rams his sword straight up below Torbat's breastplate, and just rams up into his guts and twists the blade, and then looks the orc in the eye and just watches the lights go out and pulls his sword out.
And you hear the fanfare. And there's this scene of you as the blood just sprays on your helm. This black stuff, this ichor just goes over your face, and Torblack just goes down to his knees. And then just this huge mess of leather armor and sinew just falls at your feet. A whole pool of black blood scrolling out beneath you. In the meantime, Fleabottom and Sourgut, they both use their last points of hate, and they are craven. So with 0 hate left, they flee. So Fleabottom's going to fire off a quick shot.
I was just going to say, by the way, that as the orc falls, the Targon and Baranor see each other's expressions, and between the kind of feverish satisfaction, the excitement, and the way that this combat is for Targon addressing some inner need, and then the look of hate on Baranor's face. Just for a second, their eyes meet, and neither of them recognize each other.
Yes.
For some reason now, my weapon's not working.
Well, that's a sign. They need to just run away. Then.
That's what happened to me before. Yeah.
That's because Targon just scared the shit out of him. He got run away without shooting Hallis.
Let me. I just want to know, but just so because we got to use this interface. So I'm targeting Hallis. It's his time on the combat. click on the bow. It's always worked. It's worked so far.
Did you disconnect maybe?
No, I refreshed my screen even. Here, I'll just do this. He used hate. Let me see what his skill is real quick. 3. Uh, 22. What's your parry? That probably beats it, I'm sure.
18.
Yeah, that beats it. That beats it. And so damage 3.
Puts me at 11. Okay. Applied.
Let me see what happens with Sourgat. The same thing happens. This one's towards Baranor.
Was it a
Same
coin
thing.
flip?
Yeah, same thing. Why would that not work now?
You didn't end the encounter or anything, right?
Let me try something. Let me bring in a different Goblin Archer. Thank you for bearing with me. Bring in a different one. Kind of see what happens. Still nothing. Can you guys think of a reason it wouldn't work? Even though it has the rest of the encounter?
Well, the only reason that we've ever ended it before was the disconnection thing. Maybe once it try ending the encounter, maybe it'll reset whatever is going on.
I don't know. Alright, we're just going to... They flee. Narratively. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Alright, so basically the combat's over. They flee, and you hear the sound of spears kind of outside the door, kind of flashing, and you hear the sounds of the orcs kind of dying, as it were.
I'm going to look over and check Hallis's wounds first of all. Hallis, my friend, are you fit to continue? The wounds look severe.
Haas kind of stumbles over and kind of leans on one of the poles there. It is just a flesh wound. I am fit to continue.
Spoken like a true man of Westerness. And Targon gives the first genuine smile he's given in days. And starts looking around to hear where the sound's coming from. And then starts, when he realizes it beyond that door, he starts heading in that direction.
Haas is going to kind of give as he's leaning on the pole, he's going to scan the ground beneath him to see if there's anything interesting.
Huh. Okay, let me do that. Alright, I'll mess with it next time. If I reset the combat, it seemed to work.
Yeah, I think
I think I might have had maybe more than one token selected. I think was the problem. I just didn't realize it. I think that was it. Alright, sorry to interrupt the roleplay. Continue.
It's all good. Targon's heading towards the hallway. Hollis is leaning on the pole, looking around to see if there's anything interesting, and We don't know what Baronor's doing yet.
Yeah, you see there are a few scattered bodies of Woses that have been slain, but you don't necessarily see anything out of the ordinary. You hear grumbling of more kind of Woe's voice, kind of towards the exit up here, like where the steps are.
And seeing Targon head that way, Hollis will look at Baronor. Should we continue? Your brother is already in full eagerness and ready to kill more orcs.
Baranor almost seems to be like in a half blood rage as he sees his brother finally, fell this large orc creature, and then start running towards the stairs. Baranor whips his head towards Hallis and gives a wolfish smile. Come, Hallis. You don't need to support that pillar anymore. It has stood for eons and it will stood for eons more. Come now.
Yes, it had me a little early with that big orc. He'll kind of push himself off the pillar and start following Baranor and Targon.
Time to hunt some orc.
Need to be back on the menu.
Oh.
As you kind of exit the chamber, you see a few dozen Woses. Many of them are carrying wounds, and they have their spears out, and they're just kind of like finishing off those two goblin archers that fled. You guys, they kind of look up. Huh! They act like they are expecting further attacks, but then when you emerge, they say, "Oh, it is the men that Vukagon spoke of, that they have been following in the forest for this last day." And one of them kind of stands forward. He speaks kind of the common tongue and yells out, "Where is Vukagon? Where is our chieftain? Did he fall victim to these orcs' cruel blades?"
We were separated inside. Alice Baranor, I think we should return and search for them.
Yes, he is with Alatar. Who knows what they found?
Yes, we must go back immediately.
And as you say that, kind of up on this ridge, you see, I'm going to change his name. Vukagon. Vukagon kind of looks down at you, and like this big wizard's there too, kind of looking down at you. "You do not need to look much farther, men of Westerness." As you look up, you see Vukagon and Alatar above. "We won our way through the eastern passage, as it appears you have won your way through the western. Vukagon, you tell your family that these tunnels have been cleansed, but alas, more mysteries have been revealed."
Targon pauses to wipe orc blood off his sword, probably on the... He thinks about doing it on the body of one of these orc archers, and decides that will actually just taint the blade further, so he carefully wipes it off on the grass. And then, once it's almost clean, he takes a scrap of cloth out of a pouch and gives it a thorough clean before inspecting it and sheathing it.
Yeah, Hollis just uses the body of the orc, whatever article of clothing you have on, to clean his blade. Did my eyes beseech me when we went in there? Was that not an elf in there fighting?
Alatar seems to look off to the east. His wide-brimmed hat kind of shadowed his eyes. It's probably almost sunset at this point. And he says nothing. It looks to Bukagan. The three of you, would you like to make an awareness check?
Sure.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Baranor,
Targon doesn't succeed checks outside the combat. It's not his thing.
I'll let you role play what it looks like, but you not only see tracks heading off to the north and the east, but you see heading down out of the mill, crossing the plains, going into the forest. You see what looks to be an elf as he kind of slings a blue blade across his back that starts to dim as he enters the forest. You see him kind of head off towards the east and disappear into a forest.
Baranor is immediately intrigued, and he smiles to himself. Keep your secrets then, elf. We shall meet someday soon.
Targon, as he finishes cleaning his sword, calls up to Alatar and says, "These orcs, this was not their home. They were raiders. They must have come from somewhere. That means there's a nest of these creatures to clean out."
Indeed. As I have mentioned before, these White Mountains have been peaceful for a long time. Since the First Age, dare I say. At which time Bukagan's ancestors split from the kingdoms of men of old. But it appears this disease now infests the land once more. Long have I tarried in these mountains, Bukagan, and I will stay still, although a part of me desires to wander evermore to the east in search of the rot that infests this land. My friend traveled there, but I have not heard from him in many, many days. And I will not make such decisions rashly. It calls for a fire, and for smoke. And do your kin still play the drums and the stringed instruments you've once showed me, Bukagan? Yes! They play these things, and now have cause to celebrate. Alatar then kind of looks to three of the men of Westerness who, with their hubris, may not even deign to stoop as low as to party in the Ewok village, as it were, after this small victory with the Wood Woses in the mountain. But they, of course, are invited to spend the night feasting among many campfires and deciding what to do next.
Yeah, without even saying a word, Hollis is already looking forward to joining them. Feeling the ache in his side. This sounds like a wonderful idea.
Targon looked like he was probably looking for an excuse to say no.
There's nothing else. We'll end the session.
I was just going to say Targon looked like he was preparing to look for an excuse to say no, but Once Hallis has said that, he nods and says, "We'll be."
That's it.
What?
Can you not hear Wand? Wand is still speaking, dude.
He can't hear any of us.
What? Oh gosh.
Bo's muted us all. Bo cares not for our roleplay.
Yeah, he is not. I don't think he can hear us at all.
No, he cannot.
Oh dear.
I kept thinking, I'm like, wait, what's going on? I hear Wand.
Yeah,
I hear the Wand.
Yeah.
you know what? I think I'll just end the recording. I think it's probably best.
Yeah, let's end the recording here.